Welcome to S&C Custom Designs, where we're putting the finishing touches on our sliding table saw sled. We've decided that it's time to do a woodshop tour. This is my woodshop of S&C Custom Designs. Essentially, it's half of my basement. The other half of the basement has some of my stuff in it as well. You know, we sport these trays that we do with the very handsome dovetail joinery. Big boxes, small boxes. But when you have a wood shop, when you start working with wood, you really don't need a lot of tools. You can have a router like this. This is a D handle quarter cable. My humble beginnings. It was quite expensive when I had 2.5 kids in the 90s. And I had a ready arm saw, not this one. It was a Ryobi. And that's what I had in the wood shop in my humble beginnings. My humble beginnings actually started in Jerusalem, Israel. But we'll do the rest in English. So I went to live in Israel as a missionary in 1978. And we learned how to basically use tools like this. We were only allowed to use chisels and a wood hammer like this and a saw like this. You can see mine has rust on it. Whoops. But that's how I started out when I came back to the States and met my lovely one and started having a family. I just really like woodworking. And so through the years, you start accumulating tools, so on and so forth. And you get your wood shop. So we've been in our home for about 18 years or more. And slowly but surely over time, I've built up. Let's talk about the shop. One of the most important things you need to have is a lot of light. Trust me when I tell you, you need a lot of light. So I have a lot of various lights. I have the warm light for various projects. You need all kinds of light. And you definitely need light over tools like your table saw. You can see I have 3 dedicated just over top of that. Okay, so let's begin our tour. Every shop should have a table. This here is a 16-foot table. I made this, a car could drive on it, out of 4x4 construction. I have a shelf under there, and we have tools under there. We're going to take a tour of that shortly, but you need a place to work off of. It should be a comfortable height. For me, this is a comfortable height. And that's the first stationary table. The second one is over here. It's a mess. I don't apologize. I'm a busy man. I do this at night. I'm a QA software guy in the daytime, and at night in the weekend warrior. S&C Custom Designs, our official business here in upstate New York. So we have this guy here. This is another stationary bench, which we have tools like this. The tools need no explanation what they are, but you got to put this stuff somewhere. Okay, so that's what's on this side. And you'll notice this bench is on wheels. I can move that anywhere in the shop. Very, very convenient. You want a nice wood bench with a vise. There's 2 with the bench dog area. So you can put your bench dogs in there. These are some homemade bench dogs. Okay. So you can clamp in your pieces and work on them safely. So, one table, two table on wheels. In this side we have a router jig, a router table jig. Dedicated router goes in there. You'll wonder what you did without this once you get one. Yeah, I used to pretty much wish I had a lot of these things in the 90s. I was happy and with what I had, but there you go. So you move on. What else do you need? We got the tables. We're showing you some tools. Drill press Delta. Of course, I had this pole put on from a gentleman, Joe Murley Enterprises, up here in Dwaynesburg, New York. God rest his soul. He's passed away. He's an amazing man. He worked on Oldsmobiles. Look him up. We have cabinets. I found these cabinets on the side of the road. If you know S&C Custom Designs, you know we like to go green. We pick up what we can. I've made many a project and sold it to customers, and they've been happy about that. So we have sanders in here, our sandpaper, various types of hand sanders of various sizes. You have an idea how big that is? Each one has a special purpose. All our fasteners. Okay. On the side, well, you know, no description, explanation needed for a lot of these things I have hanging up over here. Tapering jig over there, just in case you don't know what that is. But so everything needs a place. A dehumidifier. That is very key in the Northeast in the summertime. I run that 24/7 in the summertime. Now it's off. It's nice and dry. Look at that little gem back there. All right, we have a nice motorized deal here where we can put on stones and wire brushes and that sort of thing. We have the lovely Jet. I did a segment on the Jet. This is a 14-inch Jet bandsaw. I couldn't be more pleased. I waited many years to get something like this. We quickly made a fence so we can do resawing. Please look at my episode on how to change the blade, specifically for the Jet 14-inch. Okay, so we have these types of things. These are great for outfeed, portable spinners. So you can slide your stock across from your table saw on the right or the in front of it or something like this. These guys are invaluable. This may not seem really important, but how about a fan? This is a Westinghouse. This is a gem. I'm from Pittsburgh, PA originally. And so that's where Westinghouse is. That was a gift. I was really happy to get that. We have our stains and our tung oils and those types of things over here. I actually have a poly shed, and we're going to show you that. You can look that up on YouTube, S&C Custom Designs. It was a humble beginning with that. We have this portable guy. I found this on the side of the road, and I quickly put this to work. Put these sliding shelves in there. Okay, things that you use all the time. And you know you've dated yourself when you're wearing these all the time. We have a humble contractor table saw here, a Delta. Would I like a bigger one? Of course. But you know what? I'm happy to have this one. And one of the most recent projects was making this sliding table saw sled. I put fasteners near the fence here so it can hold down my wood. I can have total freedom and I can concentrate just on cutting the piece. So this has been calibrated. I was very meticulous to make sure that when I slide it across I have a 90-degree cut. So we have in the back this part here which you can hold on to, and it holds the board as well flat. This is made out of oak. These are pine 2x4s which I joined and glued up together. Okay, so I've been waiting many years to make this. Got a Christmas present I have to make. Actually, it's right here. Bookshelf, so we need to make that, and that's when this really shines. Alright, so let's go on to the table. We have a Bostitch compressor here, which sports a pin gun and the air hose. What does an air hose do for you? Cleans up your shop, of course. And then it makes it hard to hear. Down this end of the shop, we have a place where we put our wood. I really need to downsize the wood. But it's nice to have a place where you can put your wood. My table is so big that I have pieces of projects for the leaning ladder shelves down here. These are humble pins. They look pretty crude, but when I'm done with a project, it looks really, really nice. We have a radiator arm saw. We have 2 chop boxes. We have a joiner. I don't have a planer yet. We have 2 sanders here. Got this guy from Harbor Freight. And let me tell you, it actually works just fine. Just so you know what you're working with. You know, you take it easy, but it really delivers. It does what I need it to do. We have another sander here. Okay, with a disc over there. One of the pride and joys of SNC Custom Designs was when I purchased the Lee D4R Pro dovetail jig, which is mounted on an auxiliary base here. They recommend that. That makes things like this. Very handsome dovetails and pins. The best in the world. You know, if there's a better one, let me know. Even the manual isn't stellar. Okay, I mean, these are most of my tools. Of course, every shop should have a shop vac. You can hook them up and then suck away. You got to have your music. Got to have your music, friends. I love the 1920s station. You have to have pegboard, and I'm not really correctly utilizing my pegboard. But there you go. And a great idea is to have your tools so you can pull them from here and put them into service. When you're done, you can put them right back down here. Okay? So this didn't happen overnight. This happened through time, where you just generally, you know, accumulate tools. You have so many, you don't even know what you have. This is a Japanese saw here. This is really good for cutting off pegs and those sorts of things, dowels, if you want to do dowel construction. That being said, I've got jigs. There's a dowel jig there. I used that a lot in the 90s. Okay, there's just so many things. There's your clamping jig from Rockler. Did we mention clamps? Look up in the rafters. Clamps. All kinds of styles of clamps. Pipe clamps. Really long pipe clamps. Your traditional clamps like this. I even have clamps, I don't know where they are, but that join up long pieces of wood. Squares. All types of squares. Electric, right here in the middle, so I can go any way, any direction. Actually, I have electric in the, on the left, in the middle, and on the right. So that's the wood shop, half the basement. Let's go ahead and let's go outside. You definitely don't want to stain inside the house. Have I done it? Yes. Have I gotten in trouble? Yes, with the lovely ones. Again, here's the wood rack over here. Just going to point you down here like this. All right, we're going to open up. We're going to go outside, and we're going to show you the poly shed. Poly shed is out back, in the back of the yard. It looks like the Crystal Palace. This is where I do my polying. All my finishing is out here. When I first built the shed, it was all made out of pallets. Very humble. And it had plastic, like the back here. I'm intentionally keeping this to remind us where we came from. And then, God bless my pastor and some parishioners, my pastor came up with this design. This roof here is see-through. So they put that on and they put this door on. Let me tell you, the amount of light, the copious amount of lights that come into my shed, and it's about 22 degrees now or cooler. In the summertime, sorry, in the tomorrow when the sun comes out, this will come up to about 40, 50 degrees. This is the poly shed. Now you're looking at a really tremendous upgrade. What we did is we got rid of all the pallets one by one, and we put in this corrugated see-through. Also, I might mention I was driving home from work and I saw these windows. They were across the street. I immediately jumped out of my car. My car was rolling down the street and I grabbed these windows. They're fully functional. So we have basically, this is the south side. There's the lovely moon, but there's the south side. So the sun just belches through here throughout the day. That's the west side, and this is the east side. Let's go inside. How's that? So this is where we do all the polying. You don't want those VOCs in the house. Once again, they need to be outside. We have a nice dedicated table, and we have plenty of space to rotate and move around inside. Okay. Ventilation is key, so in the summer we can open up the windows, fully functional. This one swings out like this, very long window. These guys swing out that way. This guy swings out this way. Really, really thrilled about the poly shed. You might have seen me do a few videos on this. So that would complete the tour of the wood shop. And once again, you can make a lot of things with 2 or 3 tools. And then as time goes on and you get blessed, you have more tools. And you can't have enough tools. Thanks for watching, and God bless.